Hello and welcome to the Sacrilege how-to video for Hodir in Tin Man Ulduar. I'm Arkham, and I'll be walking you through how my group handles this particular boss fight. There are a few things that you need to do before you get into the actual boss encounter. One, I suggest that you type /target elemental and /target Missy, and you mark both of them with some sort of raid icon. Two, make sure that your tank is wearing 3 pieces of frost resistance gear. It's better for your DPS to wear at least 1 piece, and your healers can make it by without any frost resistance gear. A frost resistance aura from a paladin is a good thing. And 3, go into your video settings under effects and make sure you have a check mark in projected textures. The reason that we're going to mark these NPCs is that all of these NPCs have buffs. By breaking out these 2 particular NPCs, we're going to get some really great benefit from their buffs, and they're going to chip out their 2 fellows for us, meaning we can spend more time with the boss. Missy, who we mark with the circle, puts down a cozy fire. The cozy fire will combat the stacks of biting cold which you get from being around Hodir. It's a debuff that sort of works like the debuff you get in Karastraza's encounter at the end of Nexus. It's just much worse, and jumping will not cause you to not take a stack of that. What you'll need to do is you'll need to keep moving. You can stop for approximately 2 seconds and then start moving again, so it's very important for casters to find a rhythm here. If you do get a stack of that debuff, you have to move for a continuous second to remove it. So if you have 2 stacks, that means you have to move for 2 continuous seconds in order to remove both stacks. The Elementalist, who we mark with the square, is going to put a cloud on someone in your raid group. That cloud increases their critical strike chance by 50%, and they can spread that buff to 4 other people by getting close to them and zapping them with lightning. Because of the amount that I, as the main tank, have to move around, and the fact that I'm moving and I'm calling so many things out, I really don't get an opportunity to utilize my best rotation in here, and that can make it more difficult for me to sustain threat versus people with a 50% increased critical strike chance. For that reason, I ask that whoever gets hit with that cloud to please make sure that I'm one of the 4 people that they zap, giving me that 50% crit increase as well, and allowing me to stay a little bit more on par with my threat generation abilities versus theirs. For the other 2 NPCs, the Moonkin is going to put down those beams of light that you can see around the room. They increase people's haste rating, and the field medic is going to combat one of the other abilities that Hodir has, which is a short-term freeze, where he locks you down to the floor. Other ways to get out of that if the field medic does not dispel you is to have a priest in the group dispel it, or have a paladin cleanse it. Mages can blink to get out of it. Druids can shapeshift out of it. Various things like that. The reason that we turn on our projected textures is you've seen all these blue runes on the floor. Not everyone will always notice that there's snow falling down on their heads. On the other hand, it's very easy to notice that you're standing in a large glowing blue circle. And those large glowing blue circles mean that ice is going to fall from the ceiling. It's going to hurt you, it's going to knock you back. In the case of these 2 very large circles you see here for the flash freeze, it also tells you where the snowdrift is going to form up that you have to stand on to avoid getting turned into a giant block of ice like the NPCs. If someone does not make it up there in time and they do get flash frozen into a block of ice, first priority is to get them broken out of the ice. After that, the people you have designated to break out your 2 marked NPCs should immediately get back on the NPCs and getting them freed. Beyond that, this is a DPS race. You have to be able to balance things in this fight. Hodir has an ability called Frozen Blows, which he frequently uses after he does a flash freeze. The Frozen Blows will reduce his melee damage, but he does a very severe amount of frost damage during the Frozen Blows. So during that time, you need to figure out how to best survive this with the different abilities available to your healers. Standing still and casting can be an option if you only take a single stack of the biting cold. On the other hand, any sort of hots that you have available to you are going to be a far better use of your abilities. It is very severe damage, however, the frost resistance gear that we're wearing is going to help to negate a portion of that. One piece should be sufficient for your DPS. Due to the amount of healing power that your healers lose by using frost resistance gear, it's not recommended for them to use any. The tank is going to take the most severe damage, so having all three on is kind of a key element for survival there. Beyond this, you have to make sure that you utilize everything you have at your disposal. Use your heroism, use it early if you have it available to you. That way everybody's up and alive and able to contribute some DPS to the boss. Use cooldowns wisely that can mitigate damage. Use them during the frozen blows. That way it makes your healers have a little bit of an easier time of things. Maximize the buffs that you're getting from the NPCs and keep at it. There's a pretty big learning curve with this encounter, and if you find that you're struggling, something you may consider is having everyone in your raid, potentially short of the healers, dress in additional pieces of frost resistance gear. That way you can learn the length of the encounter, hopefully reaching the enrage timer. You're not going to kill him, but right now you want to focus on learning to survive. After that, you can start backing off your frost resistance gear and start increasing your DPS to move toward that kill. Hopefully the suggestions that we've made here today in this video will help to give you guys a little bit of a better idea of how to handle Hodir, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.